Town, still unbeaten. Riders. Never too early to start thinking about a win, right?
Now that does not look good, and you hope he's not taking the Saskatchewan season with him. Slam to the end zone, touchdown! Nick Dembski for the former Roughriders with the dagger. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders remain winless.
Chris Williams, the little guy, is having a monster night. Tristan Jackson, he's taken off. What a run by Tristan Jackson. The Ottawa REDBLACKS are 3-0-1.
There he is, Mitchell Gale. He came off the bench, 17 for 30 and a touchdown pass for the injured Darian Durant. He gets the start tonight. For the Saskatchewan Roughriders, still looking for win number one. His old teammate, roommate, Trevor Harris, unbelievable. Last week, single game record. Over 90% of his passes were completed. 9 touchdown passes, only 1 picked off. Overall, 82%. Remarkable start to the season for Trevor Harris of the Ottawa REDBLACKS, looking to keep it going tonight, as are we. Week 5 continues. Friday Night Football. Welcome, Rod Smith, along with Milt Stegall and Matt Dunnigan and Chris Schultz. What do you watch for in this game tonight, Schultz?
How well they protect Trevor Harris, because Trevor Harris is not Jonathan Jennings. Jonathan Jennings can sprint, he can move, he can run, the BC Lion quarterback. With Trevor Harris, he's more of a stationary target, so everybody's got to be on the same page. The offensive line, the receivers have to adjust properly. The running backs have to pick up their blitzes. Everybody's got to work together to keep that man healthy, Matt. If they do, Ottawa's got the shot.
Whew. And they're playing so good, Schultz. Another aspect of their football team is that secondary. Yes. I think they're one of the most physical, one of the most talented secondaries, if not the most talented, in the Canadian Football League. And I'm looking for the matchup of the Saskatchewan receivers, kind of an upstart group, a different core of receivers, and Roosevelt and Collins. Obviously, Bagg has been there. Dembski is an up-and-comer. New kid drawn in the lineup because Chambers is gone, and so is Childs, is Ryan Langford. Can they be successful against that physical, outstanding secondary Ottawa?
Well, the matchup I'm going to look for is Greg Ellingson, Ottawa Red-Black receiver, versus Ed Gainey, the defensive back for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. If you remember, Eastern Conference Finals, one of the greatest catches in playoff history, Greg Ellingson over that man, Ed Gainey, who was with the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So I'm sure there's going to be a little trash talking going on, and it's going to be interesting how those two guys match up. Of course, they won't be matching up the entire game, but they'll have their times where Ellison will have to catch the ball over Ed Gainey, so let's see if he can do it again.
Well, the hardest win to get is the first one. Right. Trust me, Saskatchewan Roughriders are under pressure to get their first win. Both of these teams are going to show up.
It would be nice if it happened at home for them, too. That would be big for them.
Looking for win number one of the Chris Jones era. I mean, remember, with Edmonton 2 years ago, got up to a 5-0 start. This is different for him. He's used to winning. Looking for a win tonight with a very different team this year. 0-3 start. Do they get win number one tonight against Ottawa? Kickoff coming up.
Beautiful Friday night for football in Riderville, a.k.a. Regina. Welcome to Saskatchewan. Roughriders and REDBLACKS tonight. The undefeated against the unlucky so far. Still winless Roughriders.
And those Roughriders will be led tonight by Mitchell Gale, making the first CFL start of his career. He was very good in relief last week, 17 of 30, 247 and a touchdown. Let's see if he can get it done from the get-go tonight against his former teammate and former roommate when they were Toronto Argonauts, Trevor Harris, who has been absolutely lights out for the Ottawa REDBLACKS thus far in 2016.
Two coaches last met in the Grey Cup game. Coach of the Year, Rick Campbell, the Ottawa REDBLACKS against Chris Jones, who was with the Edmonton Eskimos, still looking for his first win as head coach in Regina. He has never gone 0-3, he said, in his coaching career. We'll see what happens tonight. Zach Medeiros is going to kick this off. Kendall Lawrence and Matt Walter are back. Ottawa won the toss, deferred. Wind is blowing right to left on your screen and will gust tonight. It's a perfect night for football. Red, black, green, and white. Here we go tonight from the prairies. Kendall Lawrence. Antoine Pruneau swallows him up. And so Mitchell Gale, last time he started as a quarterback, Dwayne Ford, was back in his college days in Abilene Christian.
A very successful career at that level, obviously, and we'll have a look at some of Mitchell Gale's college handiwork as this game goes on. But first one in the Canadian Football League tonight. We talked in the pregame about the history of the backup quarterbacks that have come out of Toronto. We'll see if Mitchell Gale will be the next in that lineage.
Sends out 5 receivers. He did play last week in the loss against BC. Ricky Collins outside, tripped up. Good start for the Riders here. Again, Gale came in relief of Durant last week. Darian Durant with the ankle injury. And so Gale right to it right away to Ricky Collins.
Ricky Collins is a guy who has very quickly established himself as one of the go-to playmakers in this Saskatchewan Roughriders offense. Seems to create a highlight every week. He's off to a quick start here.
1st and 10 from the 52. Gale again throws, swinging it out. Dangerous one, but Collins loads of room. He could score, but he's going to go out of bounds near the 10. 2 plays, big yardage. 48 yards that time. Mitchell Gale finds Ricky Collins Jr.
They're getting Mitchell Gale started with some high percentage passes here. Quick hitters, balls out quickly. Let your playmakers do the rest. And thus far, it's been all Ricky Collins.
So now inside the red zone, the green zone in Regina. Looking end zone is Gale. Now he is sacked. Dropped big time by a guy who comes home to play, Zach Evans, former Regina junior star.
We'll take a look at this Saskatchewan starting offense. Mitchell Gale, of course, at quarterback. We've seen some big plays already from Ricky Collins. Ryan Langford draws into the lineup late due to an injury to John Childs. Along that offensive line, they've had some injury issues. First overall pick in this year's draft, Josiah St. John makes his first career CFL start at guard.
Gale almost picked off. Zach Evans, who has taken one to the house before. The Regina native has 2 big plays in a row, and after those 2 big plays from Gale to Collins, the Riders sputter and they'll have to kick a field goal.
Mitchell Gale's just looking to dump this one over the top on the screen. A little too casual. Zach Evans very nearly had a pretty special homecoming gift.
Xavier Fulton batted that away, so Tyler Crapigna from the 24-yard line. Kick is up, and the Riders strike first. Field goal, Tyler Crapigna. And the former roommate of Mitch Gale will have his turn next. The red-hot Trevor Harris and his offense on the field next on Friday Night Football. The Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. 3-0 Saskatchewan. First drive, first series now for Trevor Harris and the Ottawa REDBLACKS. #1 offense in the Canadian Football League. Sends out this vaunted receiving core. Incomplete right away, looking for Jake Hardy, the former Calgary Dino.
Saskatchewan just sent 3 on that first down, dropping everybody into coverage. Here you see Jake Hardy, sometimes the forgotten man in this receiving core, and there are your 4,000-yard receivers. Greg Ellingson was the man with the monster game last week as he went for 218 yards against Toronto. Offensive line, they've had the same 5 starters every week to open the season.
3-man rush again, and the #1 team in the CFL on second down does it again. Ernest Jackson collects it right at the midfield stripe.
Well, they're going to create a cluster. You see how closely aligned the receivers are towards the top of the screen. Ernest Jackson releases the #3 man and just finds a seam, gets his head around quickly.
There's a counter play here for Jackson again. Sweeps left. Little deception in the backfield. Let's take a look at this Saskatchewan D, which features a former Red Black.
Yeah, Justin Capicotti, career high in sacks last year in Ottawa, still looking for his first in green and white. Very good linebacking core. CFL veterans Otha Foster and Greg Jones, joined by the rookie Sam Guavin. On the back end, Justin Cox, despite getting nicked up last week, back at the field corner.
Second down again. Harris has time. Pocket closes. There's the sack. Corby Irvin with the sack, and look at this. It's not a good sign. Trevor Harris is down. And the guy filling in for Henry Burris, who is out of the lineup in this first series here in Regina tonight. Trevor Harris is in considerable pain here, and he's clutching that right knee.
Yeah, Harris's knee really got twisted underneath him here. Rod, you'll see Irvin coming from the nose, but it's when he wraps him up. Watch where Harris's right leg is as Irvin pulls him down. Just from the knee down, pinned underneath 300 pounds of Corby Irvin.
See it just awkwardly twisted like a pretzel. He goes down, and Corby Irvin sack with Harris down. And Trevor Harris has been this unbelievable insurance policy for the Red Blacks, because this guy went out in the first game of the season, Henry Burris. He's still not due back for a couple of weeks at the very least.
Yeah, Henry Burris has started gripping a football this week, but certainly not ready to play, and obviously not on the roster for this game. So the next man on the depth chart is Brock Jensen, the former North Dakota State star, looking to get his first CFL action here.
So Jensen warms. They look at Trevor Harris. Unfortunate scene for the Red Black quarterback. Looks like he's getting up now here in Regina. Will step aside. On the sideline, we're going to try to get a report. Did not look good. Right here as the pocket collapses and then goes down awkwardly.
Yeah, that right leg, lower leg, pinned down to the turf as his body was being twisted by Irvin.
Zach Medeiros. Kendall Lawrence makes one miss. Not much on the return, but the Riders will bring Mitchell Gale back out on the field. Mitch Gale has been around the last couple of years. It's not like he's a raw rookie, but he hasn't played very much at all. Has been just learning in the background.
Yeah, this will be the most extensive live action that Mitchell Gale has seen in his CFL career. But fourth year in the league. So a guy who definitely has some awareness of personnel, schemes, etc. And by all accounts, Mitchell Gale is a guy who's not going to be overwhelmed by the moment.
26-year-old from Alva, Oklahoma. There's a handoff. Curtis Steele, the former Argo who played with Gale. Well, Chris Jones, he's seen a player before that reminds him of Mitchell Gale.
He's got mannerisms a lot like Ricky Ray. I mean, he's quiet, unassuming, and you never know he's in the room. But, I mean, he's here every morning. He works extremely hard. Football matters to him. He's been one of those guys that's been on PR and the 6 game, which used to be called the 9 game, just trying to learn the game. And he's done a good job, I think, of picking up things from all the quarterback coaches he's had and all the different good quarterbacks he's been around.
Naaman Roosevelt. A little dish out to Roosevelt, close to the first down marker.
Again, the wind is at their backs, but we're not seeing Saskatchewan in the early going trying to push the ball down the field. Going to let Mitchell Gale get in a little bit of a rhythm here. Despite injuries, John Childs, Shamad Chambers out of the lineup, absent from that receiving core. They've still got some playmakers there, as you've seen, with Roosevelt and Collins in particular.
The Riders are last in the CFL on second down, but this time they get a first down. Curtis Steele. Interesting number for the Riders. They're first in the CFL on first down yardage, averaging 8.1 yards, but last in second down. Here's the D for Ottawa.
Yeah, we've seen some big plays already from Zach Evans, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider, coming home. Linebacking core led by Antoine Pruneau, a guy who has started every game for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, has been in the lineup every week. Mitchell White draws in on the back end. The former Montreal Alouette will be the field corner.
Holding! Gale is brought down. And Zach Evans, welcome home, young man. That's his second sack tonight. He's been in 3 plays, big plays already.
Well, Zach Evans definitely fired up. I'm sure he had to get a few extra tickets for this one and doesn't want to disappoint. Nice job on the twist there along with Aston Whiteside. Whiteside on the way up, by the way, had a little pat on the back from Mitchell Gale, not just Toronto former Argo teammates, but former Abilene Christian teammates.
Oh, what a catch! What a throw! A laser to Rob Bagg. Mitch Gale shows that arm strength, and Rob Bagg in a seam hangs on.
Well, and this one's going to buoy his confidence in a hurry. Great protection from his offensive line, and he throws an absolute strike into a tight window there.
35-yard pickup for Rob Bagg. A couple of touchdowns already this season. Riders impressive so far in this first quarter. They have not been good in first quarters so far in this young season. Swinging it out. This time it's Ryan Langford. Langford draws in at the very last minute tonight, Dwayne, because John Childs, who used to catch balls with Mitch Gale in Toronto, was a last-minute scratch for this ball game. So no Childs. Langford is in his second game as a Rider.
Yeah, Langford suited up once last season out of Illinois. Small, speedy receiver.
Second down. Here comes the rush. And Curtis Steele wasn't freed up. Damaso Munoz was blanketing him, and so the drive will stall here. And once again, it will be time to attempt a field goal for the Saskatchewan Roughriders midway through this first quarter. 2 good defenses. One team with the best offense scores more points in the CFL than any other. Saskatchewan scores the least amount, but again, early in the new season. Krapinja now from 42. 11 of 13 on the season. And the former McMaster Marauder puts it through. 6-0 Roughriders. Trevor Harris still hobbling. We'll get an update on his situation in a moment. Not looking good. Let's catch up now on the sideline with Lee Jones. Lee?
Yeah, when Trevor Harris first came to the sidelines, they were checking his right knee on a trainer's table. After a couple of moments, they put a brace on his right knee. He decided to jog to see if he could go, but he was complaining about pain not in the knee, but lower down in his leg. They're now currently taking a look at his ankle. Right now, his return, questionable.
Yeah, they were working out his calf and that ankle area. He was running on it earlier as we went to commercial break, and you can almost see he said, you know, I can't do it, I can't go. So they're going to work that out. There he's pointing to that calf area. So it's Brock Jensen's car to drive right now. Jensen, the former North Dakota State star out of Wisconsin. He tosses it out to Ernest Jackson, who spins.
Brock Jensen, a guy who became known around NFL draft time this year as the original Carson Wentz. Guy who sort of put that North Dakota State program on the map. Basically all he did was win 3 straight FCS national championships, a 47-5 record as a starter at NDSU.
To throw footballs to a guy who used to play here, Ryan Smith. Oh, look at this play. There goes Brad Sinopoli. Will he be caught? Down to the 15, the 10, the 5. He scores. Touchdown. Lightning strike. Brock Jensen has his first CFL touchdown toss. 65 yards to Brad Sinopoli.
Well, it took him a pass longer than Trevor Harris's first pass as a REDBLACK to find the end zone, but what a great start for Brock Jensen. And some confidence for the Ottawa REDBLACKS and their number 3 quarterback. Just a quick hitter there. Sinopoli gets leverage on that quick slant. Does a nice job with the weave to outrun the defenders.
Sinopoli beating a former teammate, Brandon McDonald, early on that slant. That was some serious yak yards after catch to the house, and Brock Jensen, you have your first CFL touchdown pass.
Horse collar tackle, Saskatchewan, number 31. That penalty be applied on the kickoff.
So suddenly very quiet here at Mosaic Field. At a 6-0 lead.
And those Ottawa receivers continue to pile up the yak yards.
Former rider Chris Milo and hooks one, but there was a whistle just before that convert was kicked. Al Bradbury is our referee tonight.
Procedure, Ottawa, number 81. 5-yard penalty, retry the convert.
Gets a reboot. Interesting, the Red Blacks bring a former Rider kicker and a former Rider returner in Tristan Jackson in tonight. And it's a 1-point lead now thanks to Brad Sinopoli. Turns it on, burns to the end zone. Brock Jensen's first. Sinopoli finds the house here at Mosaic Stadium. 65-yard strike, and the original pass only covered maybe 15 yards.
Well, and the key to this is that you're going to see the safety creep up towards the line of scrimmage, which opens up the middle for Brad Sinopoli on that slant. If the safety's still deep, obviously that's not open. But that creates a big opening. They hit it for a big, big play. 65 yards, longest reception of Brad Sinopoli's career.
Kendall Lawrence will take the knee and give up a point after that horse collar tackle. They added the penalty onto the kickoff. But Brad Sinopoli and Brock Jensen, how jacked up must he be? Gets thrown into the fire tonight. And he's got a cheerleader on the sideline. That's one thing about the Ottawa Red Blacks. One guy goes down, another guy steps up.
Right now, I mean, it's just a series in for Brock Jensen, but through these first 5 weeks of the season, all indications are that these guys are taking that next man up theory to the next level.
And only by unfortunate circumstance, Gale throws to Steele. There's a penalty flag in the backfield. Gale was hit just as he threw that football. Looks like there might be a call against
holding. Saskatchewan, number 68. Penalties declined. 2nd down.
Thaddeus Coleman, the hold.
Now the right tackle, he's trying to secure that edge with Mitch Gale rolling to his right. Just got beaten on the outside.
Rider team that lost both games to Ottawa last year, won both games the year previous. Ottawa's return to the league. Gale steps into it. Langford again. He's going to be short of a first down once more. And so 4:22 to go in this first quarter for the Riders. And again, they have the wind here. Will be against it in the second. First 2 and out induced by the Ottawa defense. There is Tristan Jackson, the former Rough Rider, released here, found a home in Ottawa. Last week against Toronto, took a punt back to the end zone. There's a penalty flag down. Jackson bobbles. And Tristan Jackson down at the 38-yard line. Alex Perchelski.
Yeah, the former Rough Rider. Perchelski looked like he jumped a little bit early on that Ottawa punt return unit.
Offside, the Ottawa defensive line. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So 5 yards would make it 3rd down and still a punting situation. 3rd down and 2.
An opportunity here with the wind at their backs. Perhaps for Josh Bartel to swing this field a little bit for the Roughriders.
The Aussie. Big kick here. Oh, this is a monster. It's got a little backspin too, and Tristan Jackson has only one thing to do. And there's a no yards call. Tristan Jackson sucked the Riders into the no yards. 77-yard kick from Josh Bartel. And tomorrow, Week 5 continues in the CFL. Hamilton in Edmonton. Cats and Eskimos, 7 Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific time. TSN 1, 3, 4, and 5.
That game, Rod, has these guys zigzagging.
I was going to say, aren't they a little out of place? It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, you guys.
Well, now I met these guys a little earlier today. They're from Peace River, Alberta, so north of Edmonton. They're catching all 4 CFL games this weekend. So they were in Winnipeg last night. They drove 20-plus hours to get there. Obviously, Regina tonight, getting a little closer to home tomorrow. Then it's all the way to Toronto for a Monday nighter.
I don't know how they're going to look on Monday. That's going to be some road trip. We'll catch up with them for sure, but good on them. And this place here, Mosaic Stadium at Taylor Field in Regina, is a bucket list place for any CFL fan. Fans loud and proud. Nick Grigsby with a carry on. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage, basically.
For Brock Jensen, a guy who joined the Ottawa REDBLACKS partway through last season, got a chance to get his feet wet, learn the ropes, get to know his teammates a little bit, and with them right from the start of training camp this year.
Jensen out of the backfield is Patrick Lavoie. Lavoie has a first down. Former Vanier Cup champion, Laval. Plays out of that backfield on occasion, and of course a good special teams player will move the sticks.
Yeah, Pat Lavoie's going to come out of the backfield, slip across to that left side, check release, and there's the screen. Look at the convoy out in front, Jamichael D and Alex Mateus. Always good to see the fullback get his hands on the rock.
Justin Cox upending him. Pulling it back is Jensen on the far side, Grigsby. Well, I'll tell you what, Brock Jensen, he's got a lot of experience on that sideline and high percentage completions as well. Henry Burris and Trevor Harris on that sideline now, both injured quarterbacks. REDBLACKS came into tonight's game 80.9% on the season. Jamie Elizondo, the offensive coordinator, responsible for a lot of that. Great play calling.
Oh, what a smooth transition he's made, replacing Jason Moss in that role.
And out of the backfield is Keenan LaFrance. Played not far from here at Manitoba. The Bisons on second down.
And brought down on that play by S.A. Mabure, former BC Lion first rounder. An opportunity to get in the Saskatchewan D-line rotation this year. 5th overall pick a year ago, released by the Lions out of camp. Very quickly snapped up here by the Riders.
Wilfred Laurier product. First down again for the REDBLACKS. Just over a minute to go. Let's go down to Lee Jones once more.
Guys, Harris refused to give up on this game several times. He's been jogging down the sidelines, doing dropbacks, and he's been shaking his head, not just to say that he can't go, but because he's frustrated. You can see it in his face, and currently he's not sitting down, he's not looking at the injury. He's with the quarterbacks, and he's with the offense, continuing to help call the plays.
Grigsby once more. Second down. REDBLACKS on second down conversions. First in the CFL, A lot of that had to do with that guy, Trevor Harris. We'll continue to monitor that situation. Looks like time for one more play here before the end of this first quarter.
And Ottawa's done a nice job in the first quarter, Rod, working against the wind. Of course, you want to try and slow things down a little bit, limit the other team's opportunities with the football. They've done that, putting drives together, taking their time getting up there and so on, eating up that clock.
Looks like it will be a fresh set of downs at the 41.5-yard line, almost the 42. So the Red Blacks again. Brock Jensen, their quarterback right now. Hardly what Rick Campbell anticipated, nor the Red Black fans, but Jensen's been effective. 7th play coming in this drive. We've had a touchdown, a couple of field goals, and a couple of singles in this first quarter. Barring a penalty, final play, opening frame. They'll keep it on the turf. Grigsby has the outside. And he's brought down by Justin Cox. Red Blacks continue to move the football. They lead by 1 on Friday Night Football on TSN in Regina.
You gotta be fast. You gotta be smart. You gotta be physical.
What do you want to talk about? Saskatchewan Roughriders, 8-7 the score. Brad Sinopoli. Big play. Brock Jensen, quite a story so far. 5 for 5 coming out of the chute, coming off the bench. And certainly we have to pay close attention to what's going on with Trevor Harris right now.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of concern for the Ottawa Red Blacks now. 2 quarterbacks down, with Henry Burris still a couple weeks away from returning. But Brock Jensen certainly doing everything in his power to put their minds at ease thus far.
So they change sides, and the Red Blacks now have the wind at their backs. 2nd and 4. Jensen lobbing it up. Jump ball, and almost picked. Buddy Jackson. Greg Ellingson on the sideline with Buddy Jackson. A jump ball situation.
Yeah, Brock Jensen is just taking a shot here. It's one-on-one matchup on the outside, but very good coverage by Buddy Jackson on the play, right in that hip pocket. Maybe a little bit of hand fighting as the ball was in the air, but that's allowed.
First incompletion for Jensen. 43-yarder for Milo. And that is wide. Kendall Lawrence is going to give up another single here. So it's a 2-point game now, as Milo, who won a cup here, of course, in Saskatchewan, comes back to Regina. Last year helped lead the Red Blacks to the Grey Cup game with Rick Campbell, and was that missing piece that the Red Blacks needed mid-season. Let's see what happened here.
Yeah, I think a little bit of trouble with the hold. Yeah, he
laces.
Hit the laces right there.
Generally, you do that. That ball will not go down Main Street. Mitch Gale fires far sideline for Roosevelt. Naaman Roosevelt is one of the favorite targets, whether it's for Darian Durant or now Mitch Gale.
And this is a guy who's earned it certainly since joining this team at mid-season. Last year established himself as a big-time playmaker.
Well, Mitch Gale shows some of his versatility. That is his 4th carry as he goes left side and had some free room as he rolls over Abdul Kanay.
And I love the change up there. In that short yardage situation, don't be predictable.
1st and 10 near the midfield stripe. Hangs in again. Once again finds Ryan Langford. Langford making good so far. 3 catches. Really his CFL debut as a receiver, played late last season in one game, but really only handled kick and punt return duties. Langford, whose dad played in the NFL with Miami. Paul Langford, a cornerback. His godfather is Michael Irvin, Hall of Famer. Mitch Gale again.
Mitchell Gale's being his own blocker. On short yardage, couple times now he's gone around the edge and has just dropped the shoulder on whoever gets in his path. Now Mitchell Gale's turn, doing a great job. Marching his team.
44. Langford again, and Langford fumbled the football. The whistle had blown. Dead ball here. Jarrell Gavins pleading his case. Gavins, Forrest Hightower, others. One of the strengths for the Red Blacks in their secondary, Dwayne, has been their ability to plug and play. Knee down on Langford. Second down now, flags fly. Matt Walter, former Stamp, runs into a scrum here. Let's see what the call is. Flags flew just as the play was getting off.
Offside, Ottawa, number 76. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
So second down and short yardage, maybe even a free play here for the Riders.
Well, Gale's been very good keeping it himself in these short yardage situations so far, but you wonder what he might be setting up as Ottawa starts preparing for him with that keeper around the end.
Shotgun this time. And he'll throw. Quick hitter again. And Roosevelt against the grain. Big first down to the red zone. Damon Roosevelt. And a lot of quick passes for Mitch Gale. And they are chewing up the real estate here tonight.
Well, Roosevelt's been an interesting guy to watch here in his second season with the Riders, as he now knows his way around the Canadian Football League a bit.
8th play of the drive. And that is backup quarterback, third string quarterback, just put on the roster in this game, Thad Lee, who came in as a tailback. And this guy can run. Former star at Georgia Tech and James Madison. So now we know why they put Thad Lee in at the last minute here tonight too. Gale, end zone, had wrong bag. That was 6. And overthrew it, and he knew it.
Yeah, Bag had a step on that corner working against the halfback. Gavins managed to get in behind him here. Nick Dembski with the under route holds the corner. Kane there, so he can't drop off to help. Just a narrowly missed opportunity.
So Tyler Capena. $28-yarder. This drive, well, I was going to say I was going to continue, but they're probably going to get it just a little closer now as Capena puts it through. Ottawa jumped. Abdul Kane, and you heard them say, stay onside, and then Kane jumps.
Much towards the top of that Ottawa lineup.
Now the flag and the whistle blew.
Offside, Ottawa, number 24. Penalties decline, field goal is good.
So the field goal is good. Crapena is good on the night. Saskatchewan takes the lead. Out to the prairies, and the Riders have a good sense of humor. Flannel-free facility. Of course, the Red Blacks and their lumberjack motto. There's a few of them in tonight. You can spot them even a long way away because in this sea of green, you can easily see red and black. Right now, the Red Blacks trail by 1. Grigsby, another start at the 35 here tonight. That's basically every time Ottawa has started, they've been at the 35 last 4 starts because of Tyler Krapinja and his field goal kicking here tonight.
Nick Grigsby getting lots of action early here. He didn't play the last couple series last week in Toronto. Keenan LaFrance finished up in that game. Grigsby obviously looking to be 100% here.
7 touches, 28 yards, 2nd and 7, throwing down, 3-man rush. Grigsby out of the backfield. And a great play by Samuel McLaughlin.
Well, Samuel McLaughlin's been a great story in the early going for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, playing that weak side linebacker spot. He'll show up to the right of your screen, mirroring the running back, bumbling out on that screen. Jeff Knox played that weak side spot last year and was the Riders' most outstanding player, top rookie, top defensive player. He was nicked up at the start of camp and it opened the door. Samuel McLaughlin doesn't want to give up any time.
Oh, it's blocked. It's blocked. The Riders have the ball, and they will score. Tavon Campbell has the touchdown. And this place is going nuts. Otha Foster with the block. Tavon Campbell scoops it up and scores.
And that pressure came from the inside. Otha Foster, I believe, was the man who got his hands on it. Tavon Campbell, second-year man, Toronto native, but a University of Regina product.
4 years here with the Regina Rams. Former Stampeder draft pick. And Tavon Campbell comes up with a huge recovery.
After the play, objectionable conduct, Saskatchewan, number 95. This penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
Hey, you wouldn't have gone out with like slow ass. You know I'm scoring. You know I'm scoring. Let's go. Give me the ball.
Well, you get in a situation where you're missing a guy like Darian Durant from your lineup. Points may be a little bit harder to come by. Anytime your special teams or your defense can make contributions, it's huge. Special teams unit did a terrific job there.
Once again, it's Krapinja. .32-yard point after, and squeezes it through. A 17-9 lead. Riders are 0-3 this season, but they've had 13-point leads the last 2 games. They have a lead again, thanks to Tavon on the spot.
Because they've loaded up this side, that's where they're trying to kick the ball. Both up backs are going that way. That leaves Otha Foster in that A gap to be blocked by the snapper. But he's a little slow to get to him. Foster gets a great jump, and he's through relatively clean to get his hands on that ball. Set up the touchdown by Tavon Campbell.
So after the objectionable conduct call, this is going to set up good field position for the Ottawa REDBLACKS midway through the second quarter. 17-9, Roughriders. Turn and started to rumble with it, but watch this.
Yeah, watch the right lower leg on the tackle here.
Oh.
He gets that ankle bent back.
Becomes such a force this season. Former Laval star. led the Red Blacks in sacks with 3. Try to get an update again. Brad Sinopoli. That's been a big play out of the backfield for Brock Jensen, but right now the Rough Riders are all over that. Jonathan Newsom. Where's number 0, the former Indianapolis Colt? Bringing him down.
Yeah, Newsom, a guy who a couple of years ago led the Colts with 6.5 sacks, replacing an injured Robert Mathis. Lining up as a rush end here. Did a nice job in space on that one.
So 2nd and 14 now. Jensen to air it out. Far sideline again. Once again, Sinopoli just bashes away. Brad Sinopoli. No wonder he was among the league leaders in yak yards in the CFL last year. And this is a former quarterback at the CIS level. Relentless.
Yeah, this is just an outstanding effort after the catch by Sinopoli. As 2 men, Williams and Jackson, clear things out for him. He just goes to work underneath. And the ability to pick up those yards after the catch is the key to moving the chains on that one.
1st and 10 from the Rider 47. 8-point Saskatchewan lead. Just before the play clock, Jensen with time. Little teardrop pass, and once again it's Sinopoli, and he'll score his 2nd touchdown of the night. 47 yards for Brad Sinopoli. Well, so far this season, the Red Blacks have had big games out of Chris Williams. Last week, Greg Ellingson. And Ellingson yesterday told us, Dwayne Ford, that, you know what? Hey, maybe it's Brad Sinopoli's week. And guess what? It's his night so far.
Yeah, Sinopoli off to a great start here. It looks like that Saskatchewan defense looks like they're expecting a screen or a short pass to that defensive left side. That's where Sinopoli initially aligned. Nobody followed him as he worked across into the open field.
So the Red Blacks will go for 2 here to tie this game. 2 of 3 this season on 2-point converts. Jensen, and easily done for Patrick Lavoie.
Back-to-back busts in coverage. That time it was Lavoie who became the forgotten man. He's lined up the bottom of that formation as a tight end.
So 2 more, tie the game at 17, and Brad Sinopoli, monster night for the former Heck Crichton Trophy winner. Last year's outstanding Canadian in the CFL, has 4 catches, Dwayne Ford, 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
His biggest game of the season thus far. Here's the big one to move the sticks. Lowers the shoulder. Takes advantage of a couple of missed tackles there. And to set up this one. It's a slow developing crossing route. He gets dropped in coverage. And it's just a foot race to that pylon.
This game starting to resemble the game they played last September, these 2 teams. 30-27. Ended up in a 3-point game, and this ball goes through the end zone. Nobody touched it. So no point on the board. Brad Sinopoli. You still have 5:18 in the 2nd quarter, an entire 2nd half to play. You're having a Williams / Ellingson / Knight.
Well, it gets overlooked because of the way that those 2 guys have started the season. Chris Williams obviously had nearly 500 yards through his first 3 games. Greg Ellingson over 200 last week. This is already Brad Sinopoli's 2nd 100-yard game of the young season.
Mitch Gale, it's your turn to hold serve now. Over the top, Nick Dembski. Dembski moves the sticks.
There's Dembski, the Riders' first-round pick. A year ago, he draws into the starting lineup tonight with free agent acquisition Shamad Chambers sitting out, so some nice depth in terms of their Canadian receivers. Look at Dembski, Chambers, and of course the veteran Rob Bagg.
First and 10, 39, 4.5 to go before halftime. Gale again to Kendall Lawrence out of the backfield. Hasn't had a whole lot of touches so far this season. Kendall Lawrence, the former Edmonton Eskimo, who won a Grey Cup last year. One of the guys that Chris Jones obviously kept an eye on. And Jones, of course, brought so many ex-Eskimos, of course, his entire coaching staff practically, and a number of others. Looking for his first win with the Riders. Second and 4. Here comes the blitz, and that ball batted down. Drive will end here.
Andrew Marshall, Simon Fraser product. He's going to get some more snaps with Gascon-Nadon. Sidelined. Bottom of that defensive line. You're going to see the Roughriders O-line going for the cut blocks here because it's a quick pass. They just want to get everybody's hands down. But Marshall manages to fight off that cut block and stay in that passing lane.
Josh Bartell back. Will launch this from his 35-yard line. This is against the breeze. Jackson going nowhere. 17-17. As we inch closer to the 3-minute warning for halftime coming up at the half. Rod and the boys. Our precision playbook with some guy named Dwayne Ford on the option and shovel pass. Looking forward to that, my man.
Pay close attention, Blackie.
I like the shovel. How many times did you ever get that shovel pass? Doug Flutie ever give that thing to you?
Never.
Garcia, nobody?
Never.
No?
Dickinson, never. Burris, never. Danny Mack, never. Mike Kerrigan, not even.
Were they crazy?
Nobody. Nobody would give me the shovel.
Did they not know what you could do with a shovel? Especially in the winter?
I'm great with a shovel. Yeah, it's the football that I'm a little sketchy.
Jensen now play action, looking for Chris Williams, and decides on a broken play, it looked like. He had a lot of motion in the backfield, decides to take the hook slide, and this suddenly, Dwayne, this has become a battle of the backups. Brock Jensen for Ottawa, Mitch Gale, technically the backup for the Roughriders, getting his start here tonight.
And maybe a missed opportunity for the Ottawa REDBLACKS here, as it looked like another drop coverage, bit of confusion on the back end for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. So let Ernest Jackson run free down that seam, but Brock Jensen just couldn't get his head around.
It is the 3-minute warning before halftime at Mosaic tie ball game on Friday night. They can do 5. Well, Brock Jensen in relief, of course, of Trevor Harris. And still on the sideline. And then the other subplot is Mitch Gale. And starting tonight in relief of Darian Durant, out with an ankle injury. So far, both these quarterbacks have performed admirably. Jensen drops, steps up now, takes off, and Brock Jensen lunges forward.
And Brock Jensen has everybody on the Ottawa bench holding their breath a little bit.
Well, the next quarterback up would be Danny O'Brien, and then the next quarterback up would be Brad Sinopoli.
I suspect they may tell Brock Jensen, I mean, of course, you've got to play football, and he's smart to get down at the end of that play. But pick your spots, be smart about it, don't take any unnecessary hits.
Zach Medeiros this time gets this off. Good kick. Kendall Lawrence was 15. Dropped at the 22. But Mitch Gale, of course, is the story for the Riders tonight. And with more on that, let's go to Lee Jones.
You know, Mitchell Gale has a lot of support in the stands here at Mosaic Stadium, but perhaps not as much as in Section 3 where his parents are currently sitting. Steve and Pam made the trip up from Oklahoma. They told me earlier before the game it was 1,200 miles they drove to get up here, but they wouldn't miss it for the world. Now, they were supportive parents, him growing up. Of course, they went to his college games that were 5 hours away in Texas. Every single one, they never missed one. And that includes his grandparents who unfortunately could not be here. They were getting their passports renewed renewed. They didn't come in time, so unfortunately they missed this trip. Now, talking to Mitchell Gale about how special this is for him, considering this trip was planned 2 weeks ago. They didn't know he was going to start when he decided to come up to Saskatchewan. Mitchell Gale says it's so special considering they sacrificed a lot like most parents do, especially his mom, who had to live not only with his dad, who is a football coach, but 2 football boys who are twins. So, as you can imagine, it was quite the household when it was football season.
All right, thank you so much, Lee. And there's Mitch, and his twin brother Tyson played at Marshall, linebacker there. And his grandparents who are watching.
Yeah, he wanted to give a shout out to Bill and Jadina Ferris, who are certainly watching at home. He said if they got their passports at midnight last night, they'd have been on a red-eye flight to get here.
His grandma's a firecracker, apparently. So a reboot here for Medeiros. Kendall Lawrence watches it bounce and then out of bounds, and this could be no flag there. Is Jake Hardy? There is a flag, and it's a roughing call. Jake Hardy out of bounds. Necessary roughness down near that sideline.
Yeah, it looked like Hardy tried to hold up at the last second, but had too much momentum. Ended up riding Lawrence out of bounds and drawing that flag. See number 8 coming in from the right side of the screen. Thinks he's going to have a shot at a loose ball.
Ottawa, number 8, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Well, Mitch Gale, his parents, his biggest fans, and his mentors in the crowd.
My mom and dad taught us how to be blue collar, and if you're going to do something right, or if you're going to do something, you better do it right. You know, I'll never forget. And my brother and I mowed yards when we were young. That's what we did. You know, when we were 10, 11, 12, we would mow yards, and we ended up. You know, once we got into 16 and could drive, we had our own business in the summers, and Dad always told us if your name is going to be attached to it, and people are going to ask who did that yard, or who mowed that yard, or who did this or that. And if it's Mitchell Gale, well, you better do it because you're representing our name. At a very base, foundational level, that taught me that no matter what I do, I need to do it and take a sense of pride with it.
Well, showing that pride tonight, Langford can't hang on. After Roosevelt made that play on second down. And Mitch Gale from a tiny town, Alva, Oklahoma, just 5,000 people in Woods County. 2:08 to go before halftime.
You saw a little straight arm from Langford. Jarrell Gavins came up protesting that there was maybe offensive pass interference there.
So they're trying to quickly, and yeah, Chris Jones is going to challenge interference here. And we talked with Chris yesterday about the difference, of course, this year in the challenge flag. It's been well received over the last couple of years, but with so many penalties and so many challenges this year, you have to be on your toes up in the booth, on the sideline, and he says there is a challenge to the challenges.
Yeah, it's
Saskatchewan's challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. This will be reviewed.
It has definitely changed the game a little bit. It's changed the way the game is called. It's changed the way the game is coached. It's changed the way that plays are called, because teams are certainly trying to throw the ball more because there are so many opportunities for something positive to happen.
So they're challenging interference here. You got to play Kenny Rogers too, though. You got to know when to hold it and when to fold it, because Langford with a straight arm there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can debate about who initiated contact here. Gavins looked like he was coming downhill a little bit, almost looking at something else.
I like when they look at it at fast speed on those bang bangs.
Well, I'll tell you what one of my beliefs has become the more I watch it, and you know, and see how these replays, the replay reviews play out and so on, is my feeling, honestly, in terms of giving defensive players a fair shake, is if you have to slow it down to tell if a guy was there early, then it shouldn't be pass interference. Honestly, if we're bringing it down to frames to decide if a guy was there a split second early. You got to let him play.
After review by the command center, there's defensive pass interference. Ottawa, number 24. Ball will be placed at the 47-yard line with an automatic first down.
So a successful challenge for Chris Jones. He was telling us yesterday how many coaches and how many eyes in the sky they have now to.
Well, this is the thing from a coaching point of view. You're literally putting a coach on each receiver to see if there's any illegal contact on any of them.
Well, good challenge that time for the Roughriders. Keeps the drive alive. Gale now airing it out for Roosevelt in traffic and incomplete.
Two guys in very close proximity there. Draws three receivers. Three defenders, rather, in a position to make this. Here you'll see everybody converges at that football. I think the odds of any one of those five guys coming up with a catch were pretty slim.
Saw newcomer Mitchell White in on that play. Forrest Hightower. Gale drops again. Look out now. He is crushed. Andrew Marshall again. Ball is loose, and the Red Blacks may have it. And from the blind side, from behind, it is Ottawa football. Andrew Marshall hummels Mitchell Gale.
Well, Andrew Marshall gets upfield, but does a nice job working back to the ball as Mitchell Gale tries to step up here. Looks like he's out of the play, but he keeps that motor running. Comes back with a huge hit.
Saskatchewan fans felt it, but no one more than his parents, and then no one more than Mitch Gale. That was a hard hit.
Andrew Marshall in with.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
They will look at this. This is a turnover, so the command center looks at every turnover and just could not hear the footsteps. Andrew Marshall stepping up in place of Arnaud Gascon-Nedon. Here's another look. Marshall with a sack.
That looked like Aston Whiteside came up with the recovery.
So Whiteside, the former teammate of Mitch Gale, Abilene Christian.
Andrew Marshall doing a nice job with a couple of big plays.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Fumble, recovery by Ottawa, first down.
So inside 2 minutes and a chance after this turnover. Ottawa with his best start, field position. Brock Jensen at the helm.
Noteworthy, neither Chris Williams nor Greg Ellingson has caught a pass yet.
It's been all Brad Sinopoli. There's Chris Williams first. There goes Chris Williams, and a first down on his first catch. Williams has put up off the chart numbers in this early season.
Just setting up the hitch to the outside man, Williams. Get things blocked up.
Now from the 29. Pitch it out. Grigsby with a shake. Justin Capicotti, former Red Black. 23 sacks for Capicotti over the last 2 seasons. Former Eskimo as well. Big tackle there, so it's going to be 2nd and 5 now for the Red Blacks.
Justin Capicotti talked a little bit about playing for Chris Jones and being asked to do a lot of things other than rush the passer.
Grigsby in the backfield. 5 receivers set for Jensen with time. slings it, and one hops it to Williams. So on third down now, that will mean Chris Milo will come out. 1:03 to go before the half.
On a good late stand here by the Rough Rider defense after a turnover in their own territory.
Milo 0 for 1, missed from the 43. Right on the laces last time. Greg Ellingson comes in for the hold. This from the 31.
And remember, normally it would be Trevor Harris holding.
This one is good. And Ottawa surges in front once more. From the mind of comic book legend Stan Lee comes a new crime action thriller about a detective granted the superpower to control luck. Stan Lee's Lucky Man. Series premiere Monday at 10 Eastern, only on Space. Right now, a few unlucky men. Injury-wise for Ottawa tonight, Trevor Harris, Arnaud Gascon-Nadon. And the Wild Rider fans at it again. Harris continues to limp on the sideline, but Brock Jensen operates, and now Mitch Gale back on the field. Hurls one to the far side, and Langford, watched by Abdul Kane, hauls it in, close to the first down.
Nice execution. Looked like he got out of bounds. Get that clock stopped. Good awareness there by Langford, lunging for that sideline.
Gale is 14 of 20 for 193. Well, and there is a challenge flag on the far side. It was just thrown before the snap. Rick Campbell, because that last pass was right in front of him, challenging Langford on that play, probably an out-of-bounds call. And wondering if this is reviewable or not.
Ottawa.
Yeah, it's not reviewable.
10-yard penalty. First down.
So that time the yellow flag haunts Rick Campbell.
Yep, big gift there. Wonder if he was challenging whether the player was down before he got out of bounds.
Because of the whistle, not reviewable. Oh, high snap, look out, Mitch Gale better eat it. And a big loss, Whiteside there, the former teammate for Gale, and Antoine Pruneau as well.
Well, they got the gift on the illegal challenge and subsequent delay of game, but gave it right back.
It's almost back at that line of scrimmage where it was. It's going to be second and about a kilometer.
Well, Andrew Jones a touch high with that one. Jones, a veteran, but a guy who's predominantly been a guard in his career, hasn't played a ton of center. Injury to Dan Clark has forced him into action there.
30 seconds before the half. And whistles blow again.
The game clock will be reset to 48 seconds.
A little more time now to operate as Riders trying to get this into at least field goal position for Tyler Crapigna. Leaves Kendall Lawrence in the backfield and throws, and again another batted pass. It's almost like playing against a bunch of octopus in the front for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. They've knocked down so many passes here tonight.
I think a bunch would be octopi.
Octopi. Octopi.
Yes. Regardless, a bunch of them.
A lot of pie.
Yeah, doing a nice job getting their hands up in those passing lanes. They've scored a couple of knockdowns as a result. And nobody knows better than Rider Nation. You don't necessarily want to be forced into this punting situation with Tristan Jackson waiting at the other end.
Tristan Jackson from his 35. 30 seconds
Great
left.
cover.
And And there is Newsom downfield very quickly for a D lineman.
Yeah, great when you can get that kind of effort on special teams out of one of your starters.
Jonathan Newsom, special teams tackle. So Brock Jensen, 11 of 13, 171, and a pair of touchdowns. Huge numbers. Thrown right in tonight. Trevor Harris went down early. Pump and go now. Jensen lets it go, far sideline. And once again, his favorite target's been Brad Sinopoli. 88 has another big gainer.
Well, with the Roughriders playing it safe, given the timing, 27 seconds on the clock to start this series, they didn't bite on that hitch and go. Everybody dropped off deep, however, and it left Sinopoli an opportunity underneath.
156 yards now on 5 catches for Sinopoli. First down from the 43. Here's the rush now. Jensen's got room if he wants it. Instead, pegs it over the top, and my oh my, Brad Sinopoli is human. Drops that one, normally sure-handed. Over the top.
They got a nice blitz pickup there from the running back, Nick Grigsby.
He'd want that one back.
A rare one. First time all game, by the way, that the Roughriders have sent more than 4 guys, and they've rushed more than 4.
3 this time. Jensen now. Gonna have to scamper, and he's pushed out of bounds. 5 seconds left. So Ottawa will have a chance to extend the lead. Milo comes out one more time to make it a 6-point game. Chris Milo certainly has the leg, his longest of the season, 55. And the season opening win in Edmonton to tie the game, send it to overtime. This is from the 45, and it's with the win. And it's blocked. Kendall Lawrence takes it out. Has the sideline, has a penalty, has some room. Lawrence has lots of room. Kendall Lawrence is going to score. Or will he? Cuts back and unbelievable run back. But penalty flags all over the place. Will this count? And it might have been a clip that will negate an incredible run by Kendall Lawrence.
Well, it looked like just as Lawrence
During the
crossed
return,
the goal line.
illegal block. Saskatchewan, number 26. 10-yard penalty. There will be one more play.
So Tavon Campbell, who scored the touchdown, this time is penalized for an illegal block. But there will be one more play. It was a crazy play to begin with after it came out. And it looks like it might have been Knox here, 49.
Yeah, keep an eye right around that 5-yard line.
That's the illegal block right there. So it wasn't Tavon Campbell, but Jeff Knox Jr. And then Kendall Lawrence just gets some help. Little cutback. Boy, that had the people screaming here, and then suddenly silenced. Patrick Lavoie misses him. Then everybody missed him.
Yeah, there was a very close one on Justin Cox as well. Right at the goal line, just as Lawrence stepped out of the end zone.
So with zeros on the clock, Saskatchewan, you can't take the knee here.
Yeah.
Because you give up 2, so you're going to have to either throw it away or do something. Maybe even Hail Mary it here for a shot. They're going to line up very close. maybe they will be able to get it just ahead. That's the final play of a wildly entertaining first half of football. Both sides. The Ottawa REDBLACKS undefeated. The Saskatchewan Roughriders winless. And only 3 points separate the two on Friday Night Football. Back and forth they go tonight at Mosaic Stadium. REDBLACKS lead Saskatchewan 2017, and with Roughriders Rob Bagg, here's Lee Jones.
Rob, overall, your thoughts on the performance of Mitchell Gale in that first half?
He's doing good, but we got another 30 minutes, so here we go.
Before the game, you wrote a tweet basically saying that you love being overlooked, underestimated. Does this team have a chip on their shoulder in this game?
Hell yeah, I know I do, and I think the whole team does. We're 0-4, so I mean, here's a great opportunity. These guys are supposed to be the best, and we're hanging right with them. It's a great opportunity.
Thanks for this.
Yep.
Well, Rob, you're not 0-4 yet. Or maybe not even. In this game for sure. Riders 0-3 coming into tonight. 3-0-1 for the REDBLACKS. Mitch Gale, Brock Jensen. Both exceeded expectations so far here tonight. See what the second half has in store. Here comes Jensen. Came in relief of Trevor Harris.
There you see Jensen's numbers, over 200 yards in that first half of football, a couple of touchdown passes to Brad Sinopoli, and completing 80% of his passes, literally picking up right where Trevor Harris left off.
So REDBLACKS have the win here in the third quarter. Saskatchewan in the fourth. Jensen sends out 5. And bucket down over the middle is Nick Grigsby.
Nick Grigsby continues to be an important part of this Ottawa game plan, I'm sure particularly with that injury to Trevor Harris.
Brock Jensen from Wapaka, Wisconsin. And on second down, into a green wall.
Corby Irvin, Justin Capicotti did a great job holding their ground against the push of the Ottawa offensive line.
So a very quick 2 and out.
Irvin, the former Montreal Alouette. Capicotti, the former REDBLACK. Great job right at the point of attack here.
Zach Medeiros had a punt blocked earlier in this ball game. Decides to take off around the referee and will get the first down.
Now this is where you've got to have somebody forcing the kick from a contained angle.
Zach Medeiros this time. Watch as he scoots around Al Bradbury as well.
You need to get rushers coming outside in, make sure the ball gets kicked. Everybody's getting on their blocks and turning their backs. Nobody's forcing them on that side.
So, big kick. Medeiros takes off. Captures the first down. From the Ottawa 48.
Good heads-up play there by the punter to read what was going on. Make a play.
Oh, little razzle-dazzle now. Jensen steps up and gets crushed again. Hammered. Ed Gainey tried the flea flicker, but it fizzled.
Well, it looked like they were trying to get to Chris Williams, who was on the deep route down the middle here. But the free safety. Kevin Francis does a nice job keeping his depth, recognizing what's going on. You see they're playing him over the top right from the get-go. And the boys up front did a nice job preventing Jensen from being able to step up and make a throw.
Then sandwiching Brock Jensen.
Ottawa's challenging the previous
down.
play for unnecessary roughness on the quarterback. This can be reviewed.
So the challenge flag from Rick Campbell. Unnecessary roughness. We will step aside and get the verdict when we come back.
Side, AC Leonard, number 99, connects helmet to helmet with Jensen. He's being held up by teammate Ed Gainey right there.
Right there.
We know this is generally made as a black and white call, not a judgment call for the officials. They're not going to try to judge intent. The hit came in high, so you expect a call. You see AC Leonard, tight
Former
end
receiver.
turned defensive end.
BC Lions.
This is a guy who, coming out of high school, was very highly recruited at both positions, considered the top tight end in the country, but was also one of the top defensive ends. Ended up playing tight end in college at the University of Florida and then Tennessee State. A very athletic guy, and that's something Chris Jones looks for across the board, but in his defensive lineman in this instance, this is a guy who ran a 4.5, was a 250+ pound tight end at the NFL Combine.
Last year in BC had 17 catches and a couple of
After
touchdowns.
review, we have major foul, roughing the passer, Saskatchewan, number 99. Be a 15-yard penalty from the previous line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
So a fake kick plus a roughing the passer call, a helmet-to-helmet collision. And now into Saskatchewan territory. 1st and 10 from the 47.5 for Brock Jensen and company. If you're just with us, Trevor Harris started the game, first series. Went out with a leg injury. Looked like a knee, maybe a calf. Has not returned. Backup Brock Jensen has taken over. Grigsby has a first down. Nick Grigsby, the former Bomber and Ticat and Eskimo, now Red Black, churns out some yardage.
And we've talked about it, Rod, over the last couple of weeks, but the Ottawa Red Blacks very fortunate that a guy like Nick Grigsby was available given the injury issues that they've dealt with in the early going. At the running back spot, William Powell suffering an injury out of the gate. The guy who was so terrific for them down the stretch last year. His replacement, Trayvon Van, also went down.
Grigsby another shake and a penalty flag. A pair of flags fly in the backfield. Is this coming back? It will. It's a holding call.
Holding, Ottawa, number 64. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So it'll go against left guard, Jamichael Dean. Just got outraced to the spot by Greg Jones. Thought he had a little bit more time to stay on that double team before going to the second level defender, but Jones shot the gap on him.
Keep it on the ground again, but going nowhere. Keenan LaFrance gets another touch. Ball now spotted at the 45.
Still second and 19 yards to go here.
What will Saskatchewan bring this time? Put some more pressure on Jensen. Or step back in coverage. Jensen pitches it out. Patrick Lavoie and a high hurdle. Very close to a first down. Lavoie downfield.
Give me the kick.
But it's going to be about a yard and a half, maybe two shy.
Yeah, just a quick screen to the tight end here. Patrick Lavoie, listed as a fullback, but a guy who's really never going to carry the ball in the run game, but a very capable receiver. He had such a terrific rookie year, catching the ball for the Montreal Alouettes. Ran into some injury issues his second year that led to him being left unprotected in the Ottawa expansion draft. He's excelled here for the REDBLACKS.
Chris Milo pumps it through, extending the lead. 6-point advantage, REDBLACKS.
Shout out to TSM, baby. Let's get it today. Let's do a better job this week calling out the Fort Lee. Hands on, hands on, hands on. Hands early, right?
Way to fight. Some of the sounds, CFL, TSN, week 5. Gale chucking again, and Dembski spinning. Some early season trends that we've seen so far in the league. Not a lot of running. In fact, the lowest rushing totals in the history of the CFL early in the season. And another trend, road teams winning and Eastern domination. 8-0 against the West right now. But the road teams so far 13-3-1. Never been done before. Ottawa trying to increase that domination tonight. Gale now steps up, bit of a floater, and close to being picked off by Munoz. Good pressure again on Mitch Gale. Maso Munoz had it in his grasp.
Well, here you'll see as things start closing in a little bit. Mitchell Gale, little double hitch there. It seemed to surprise Munoz that the ball was thrown on that side. Had it been thrown to the outside, Matt Walter would have had him shielded off.
Saskatchewan still without Curtis Steele, went out of the game first half. He's not returned. Doesn't help the running game or the short passing game. Josh Bartel, Kristen Jackson going nowhere. Brandon McDonald, the former REDBLACK, down quickly on a 49-yard boot. 23-17 Ottawa. Players with more. Let's go down to Lee Jones.
Yeah, injuries on both sides of the board. Running back Curtis Steele of the Saskatchewan Roughriders is out with a leg injury. While for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, Arnaud Gascon-Nadon and Trevor Harris, officially they're unlikely to return, but currently both are on the sidelines in street clothes, so it's clear that they are not going to be playing in this game. Trevor Harris continues to be active, though, as he sticks with the quarterback, sticks with the offense, helping out his quarterback, Brock Jensen.
All right, thank you, Lee. And a lot of people reaching out to Trevor Harris tonight. Still don't know the extent of his injury, but Travis Lulay, Chad Owens.
And Nick Lewis, of course, at the top.
Sending out their best wishes. Entire league, same way. Trevor Harris has had an outstanding start to 2016, replacing Henry Burris. Right now on that sideline, Burris and Harris helping out Brock Jensen. First catch for Greg Ellingson. Huge week last week. Ellingson and Chris Williams both with 1 catch each. Sinopoli has carried the load tonight. 2nd and 3. Pull it back once more, and another batted pass swatted down. It's like a block party here tonight.
Greg Jones, the middle linebacker, supplied some pressure on that one. Jones, great pickup from the Toronto Argonauts via free agency. A guy who had over 100 combined tackles last year, defense and special teams.
Zach Medeiros. Riders creeping up that time, contain him. Kendall Lawrence going Devon Claiborne downfield quickly. Well, Mitch Gale does have a bag of tricks himself. Mr. Ford, this is back in 2011 at Abilene Christian.
Yeah, these ones go back to his college
Look
days.
at that. I don't know if I want to be the guy with a cup on my head. How can he always ask me to do that? From the nosebleeds. Oh, yes. Was not signed to play for the basketball team after that, but what a shot. Joe Gale doing some great stuff so far tonight. That one a little overthrown. Looking for Lawrence. Kendall Lawrence seeing a lot of time now in that backfield again with no Curtis Steele.
Well, Kendall Lawrence is such a valuable guy to have because of his versatility. You go back a couple of years, his first season with the Edmonton Eskimos, where he had over 400 yards rushing, very involved in the passing game as kind of the fifth receiver, hybrid slot running back. In that role last year, he was limited a little bit more to the return game, but over 2,000 combined yards still.
Gale tossed it away for Lawrence. Would have been the third sack for Zach Evans. And so quickly 2 and out go the Riders, and defense is starting to stiffen here in the second half. Both teams 2 and out. Last 2 possessions.
And this Ottawa team has spent much of the season thus far lining up with 3 Canadians on that defensive line. Renaud Gascon-Nadon typically joined by Zach Evans and Connor Williams.
Bartel's gonna hoof this from near his 20. Shortish kick this time. Kristen Jackson picks his way, weaves his way, and good field position here for the REDBLACKS in Saskatchewan territory. What a night it's been for this guy. Brad Sinopoli, career night. Already 2 touchdowns. Looking for the hat trick in Regina. Sinopoli enjoying a great night in Regina, Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you heard the boys mention it at halftime with 5 catches, a career high 156 yards already, and 2 touchdowns in this ball game. You know, he's seen his teammates, Chris Williams and Greg Ellingson, have their turns to go off in the early going. He didn't want to get too far behind in that receiving race, I guess.
Another hit screen up high for Ellingson. Little cutback, and there's a fumble. And Ellingson looks like he got it back. Well, Williams and Ellingson came into the week 1 and 2 in receiving. And Brad Sinopoli came in 9th. Sinopoli's got a little closer for sure here tonight. Ellingson with his 2nd catch. Otha Foster. Frank Jones.
One of those guys that followed Chris Jones over from Edmonton. Perfect fit for the system. Speedster at that linebacker spot.
2nd and 8. Deep drop for Jensen. Now he's got a roll. Now he throws. Far side. Ellingson once more. Watched again by McDonald, and that will get a fresh set of downs inside the 40-yard line.
And you keep an eye at the line of scrimmage here. The Saskatchewan Roughriders. Only a 4-man rush, and one of those drops out late. 3 guys rushing. Jensen's got all kinds of time. Yeah, you're putting a lot of guys in coverage, but you know, eventually somebody's going to come open.
Grigsby now run down by Justin Cox.
You know, it's one of the big differences for Chris Jones with this defense as compared to the Edmonton Eskimos defense. In Edmonton, guys like Odell Willis, Marcus Howard, Almondo Sewell, Willie Jefferson, Eddie Steele, they had an ability to get after the quarterback, rushing 3, rushing 4. They don't necessarily have that here in Saskatchewan. But it's just leaving a quarterback like Jensen too much time.
Nick Grigsby has 10 carries for 42 yards. He resides in the backfield again right beside Jensen, who's passing. Now they bring the blitz. He tosses it up and jump ball, and McDonald was there. So was Cox. And very nearly stolen away by the Roughriders.
You see his receiver Ellingson works toward the corner here. Watch the corner. Cox, Justin Cox, drops off his receiver. Nice read by him. Get back there and help out on that play.
Well, trouble for the REDBLACKS. Ellingson.
Again, Ellingson not the regular holder.
No, it's usually Trevor Harris, who of course is out with injury, so slow to get that started, and the play clock was coming down, so they have to burn a timeout here. See if that comes back to burn them. Close football game here tonight. 23-17. REDBLACKS looking to go to 4-0-1. Undefeated start to the season.
Well, and this is one of the things I'll point out as we talk about the road records of teams thus far. As you look at a team like Ottawa, clearly one of the strongest teams in the league. They've only played one home game so far. Now, I haven't taken the time to break down all the matchups of who's been home and away, but that's certainly a factor.
Once again, Chris Milo bounces back. A couple earlier misses. Now 26-17. Well, the PGA Championship tees off Thursday. First round coverage from Baltusrol. Action gets underway at 1 Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Across the TSN network. There's the guy the Roughriders would love to have back in their lineup, of course, Darian Durant. Season-ending injuries the last 2 years, of course, after his greatest moment, the Grey Cup win back in 2013. This injury certainly not a season ender by any stretch, but anytime Darian Durant goes down and out, this entire province inhales. This was Darian Durant last week against the BC Lions.
Yeah, and relief that it's not too serious. Cale Brooks gets Durant down low. I'm sure for everybody in Saskatchewan, as you said, given the recent history for Darian Durant, a lot of concern when he first went down.
And somehow Mitch Gale got out of that on 2nd and 10. But it's going to be kick time again for the Roughriders. It's just been hard luck for Darian Durant last 3 seasons. All those injuries.
And the Riders feel somewhat fortunate given the state of their quarterbacking behind Darian Durant up until about last week when they had traded for Mitchell Gale. Bring in a guy who had a little bit of CFL experience. They're dangerously thin behind their starter.
Including the playoffs, 21-12 with Darian. 6-22 without. Such a difference maker. So is this guy. Tristan Jackson now coming back to Regina. Team that let him go. And Tristan Jackson picks his way near the 40-yard line, an 11-yard return on a 48-yard kick. And such an interesting night here as we get close to the end of the third quarter. 2:13 to go. Brock Jensen. You know, sometimes you just look at the depth chart, you look at some quarterbacks, and they may never get a sniff for a long time. All of a sudden, last couple of weeks, Mitch Gale gets into the game for Saskatchewan. This week, Brock Jensen. Rick Campbell doesn't have to be told. Always be ready.
Now, this is life in the CFL. You better have a very capable second stringer and at least a serviceable third string guy, because there's a good chance you're going to need to go 3 deep at some point during the season.
Another hit screen, and you wonder if Saskatchewan's going to jump at one of these points. Brock Jensen's thrown probably 9 or 10 of those already. That one was a one-hopper.
Well, I think part of the game plan from an Ottawa point of view is you kind of hope they jump at them because that's when you try and go over the top on them. Get them to creep up on the line, take away that cushion that they're giving a guy like Chris Williams.
Three-man rush again. Jensen settles in the pocket. The outlet was a bit of a high toss for Grigsby. And he, again, will elicit another 2 and out. There have been a number of 2 and outs here in this third quarter.
The Saskatchewan defense did a really nice job that play, taking away the deep routes, but then very quickly closing after forcing Jensen to go to his check down.
5 2 and outs in the quarter, 3 for the Roughriders, 2 for the REDBLACKS. And then goes Medeiros again, but this time the running boot is thinking about it. And to Lawrence.
Yeah, I suspect Ottawa may have had men downfield before the ball was kicked here.
Yeah, penalty flag, and that's likely against the REDBLACKS. Again, with Medeiros taking off and then booting it afterwards, you have to remain on that line, those 5 O-linemen, until that ball is booted. 52-yard kick on the run from Medeiros. And they're likely going to do this again.
Illegally downfield on a kick, Ottawa, number 32. 10-yard penalty, third down.
Two tackles, those guys have to remain at the line of scrimmage until the ball is punted. And so often on special teams, you almost get in a little bit of a rhythm, the time that it takes for the ball to be snapped until that punt, that you're going off that internal clock in your head almost more than you're waiting to hear the thud of the ball off the punter's foot.
So special teams coordinator Bob Dice returns back to Regina, was a head coach, of course, after Corey Chamberlain was let go here in Regina. Big hop, Lawrence back to his 5. What a kick from Medeiros after the penalty. That did not work out all right for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. 76-yard kick, and that wind starting to really gust now. And the Riders will have that wind. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. They'll have it in the fourth.
Kendall Lawrence, an experienced returner in this league, and of course we preach all the time, you want to catch the ball in the air on the punt. So I suspect that he might have lost that one in the lights for just momentarily, and that's why he let it bounce, because he looked like he got himself into decent position to make a catch on the ball.
Might be the final play before the fourth. Look at this, stretching it out. Naaman Roosevelt, goodbye, touchdown. On the final play of the third quarter. Spectacular shot, 88 yards. Gale to Roosevelt.
Yeah, Mitchell Gale hit him in stride. Naaman Roosevelt, who established himself as such a great deep threat a year ago, averaging 19.7 yards a catch in 2015. Goes long here.
Kristen Jackson victimized. And Naaman Roosevelt sees him in his rear view mirror. And Naaman Roosevelt picks a perfect time to score his first touchdown of 2016. A beauty. Papina, the point after, suddenly. Mitchell Gale throws one up. The bomb lands in the arms of Roosevelt. We've got a good one heading to the fourth on Friday Night Football. Back and forth these teams go. Big plays and young, inexperienced quarterbacks at the helm tonight. You would not have seen this one coming before this game.
Well, these two young guns aren't looking like young guns. They're looking like experienced hands back there, both making some big plays. Great poise there by Mitchell Gale. Recognizing a little bust in coverage for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Naaman Roosevelt's on the outside. Keep an eye on Tristan Jackson here. It looks like his vision time staring in at the quarterback. You'll see it's really not until Roosevelt is by him that there's kind of that oh no moment. And you see the oh no speed from Jackson as he closed on him in a hurry, but just ran out of field.
Now here's the rub, though. Tristan Jackson, who has played a corner the last couple of weeks, hasn't played much corner tonight with Abdul Kanay, has really been handling most of the return duties and was in on that play at corner. That was the longest Rider pass of the season, 88 yards to Pater. So here we go, stand by in the fourth. Last team with the ball might win. There is a penalty flag here on the return by Jackson, who was probably exhausted anyway. 2-point ball game. Red Blacks lead the way.
During the return, holding, Ottawa, number 81, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, you saw Patrick Lavoie looking a little guilty in the aftermath of that one. It's going to be a long field into the wind here for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Well, die-hard faithful, home of the 13th man. When they are amped up and their team is in it, there's nothing like it. Inside handoff, sweep to Jackson. Ernest picks up 6. You know, you look at the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 0-3, but a little bit deceiving, Dwayne. They lost to Toronto to start the season. Then they went to overtime against Edmonton, a game they very well could have won. Had the lead last week against the BC Lions, and of course Darian Durant went out. 13-point leads the last 2 games.
Well, you know, under Chris Jones that competing is never going to be an issue for the Roughriders.
Jensen's in trouble. Throws it away. For a moment, thought there might be, there is a grounding call, penalty flag, and Jensen saying he was throwing it to an intended target. But Al Bradbury's saying it's grounding.
Potential grounding. Ottawa number 16, lost it down, third down.
AC Leonard in pursuit. Former pass catcher, now a quarterback catcher.
Saskatchewan came into this game with just 3 sacks through the first 3 games. AC Leonard had provided 2 of them.
So remember, Ottawa is against the wind here, and the wind has started to pick up a little bit since the sun went down. Harris had a punt blocked earlier. It ended up a touchdown for Saskatchewan. Kendall Lawrence is gobbled up. Mitchell Gale fresh off a touchdown strike to Naaman Roosevelt. Good field position here for the Roughriders. A chance to retake the lead. Topsy-turvy ball game here.
Oh, when you hear the people that know Mitchell Gale, the football player best, the things they say about him. Tremendous poise. So you see Abdul Kanay on the sidelines with his Red Blacks defense on the field. Tremendous poise, a guy who's not intimidated.
Gale is sacked. And there is the hat trick for the former Rough Rider, Zach Evans.
Evans, certainly one of the league's breakout players a year ago with a career high 7 sacks.
The sack trick, and there's a challenge flag, and this also might be a helmet-to-helmet
hit.
hit.
See if he got him up high here on the initial contact.
Crowd just saw it on the big screen, and based on what we saw earlier tonight, challenge win for Ottawa on a helmet-to-helmet collision. It looks like this sack might be taken away.
Saskatchewan is challenging the previous play for roughing the passer. This will be reviewed.
Based on what we saw earlier, it's a high hit again. We'll await the decision from CFL Command. Step aside and come back to Mosaic Friday night.
Years, this has been very consistently what I call a black and white call,
Yeah,
meaning
you could see
the
there.
official's judgment isn't part of the equation. Is the contact made helmet to helmet? Yes, as you see Mitchell Gale's head kind of snap back on initial impact. So there's no judging of intent or, you know, no leeway for judgment if a quarterback is ducking down, anything of the sort.
Can't hit them high, can't hit them low.
Yeah.
After review, there is no foul on the play. It is as ruled. Second down.
Are you surprised?
It's a loaded question.
The
but
lower
yes and no.
the lower angle to me showed it a little more definitively. But perhaps.
Well, and you know, I think that the aspect of this that may help Zach Evans' case is the fact that he actually wraps up. He's not launching himself with his head. But
Mr. and Mrs. Gale certainly didn't like it, nor did Mitchell. Kendall Lawrence brought down from behind, so by Zach Evans again. Evans is just having an incredible night. 3 sacks, number of tackles, and the Regina native, I'm sure in front of some fans who might be a little bittersweet, friends and family, I'm sure, who, you know, they have green in their wardrobe, but Zach's back.
yeah, leading up to that expansion draft, Saskatchewan was looking at going with 2 American at the D tackle spots. So they let Keith Sholigan and Zach Evans go to Ottawa.
Chris Williams is back to return on the end-over-end kick. 26-24, Ottawa.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
Packed house again here at Mosaic, and of course this is the farewell season of this stadium here at Taylor Field. But a 3-wood from here. The new stadium be up and running next year. Beautiful sight. Jensen, first and 10 near his 20. Airing it out, has his man, and Chris Williams over the shoulder pad, dropped it.
Justin Cox is celebrating. Did he get a hand on that football?
Maybe. Well, we saw the infomercial in the pregame show. That just doesn't happen. And they are challenging because he slashes and dashes and slices and dices. Well, there's a penalty flag down.
Objectional conduct. Saskatchewan. Number 31. This is a 10-yard penalty, and it will become first down.
Well, that's a costly one. Let's take a look here. Objectionable conduct. And let's see what happens when he comes up.
I don't know if that was mistaken for a throat slash, but it wasn't.
It wasn't. I'm not sure what happened after that.
It's a nice defensive play. Cox did definitely get a hand in there.
Incomplete. Wow. So the drive continues. Grigsby. Mashed right near the line of scrimmage. Wofford again. He's been in on a lot of tackles, the former Texas Tech Raider. They're going to hurry up now. Well, there is some energy in this house tonight. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Again, a 3-man rush. Jensen calls his own number. Hook slide. And he's going to be short of the first down. So Brock Jensen, Wisconsin native, grew up dreaming of becoming the next Brett Favre. Getting a chance here tonight. Some action in the Canadian Football League and trying to lead his team to victory in relief of Trevor Harris. Keep his team unbeaten. So Chris Milo is punting this time. Usually Zach Medeiros. Find out why that is the situation. Perhaps Milo just knows the wins here in Regina. Close one tonight, Friday Night Football. We are professional grade. Great night for football. You can see a little flash lightning in the distance here. That mosaic, one team that came in rolling, the other came in reeling. You'd never know it by the scoreboard right now. 2-point game. Lots of time left in the fourth. Langford down the sidelines. And there's a penalty flag. He was knocked into his bench. Ryan Langford's
Major foul.
first start at
Unnecessary
receiver.
roughness. Ottawa, number 20. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Add 15 on here.
Yeah, costly when given the field position. 2-point ball game, Riders with the wind, and you just gifted them field goal position.
Penalties have been a factor. Gale with Lawrence in the backfield. Carries the mail. Tonight, Ottawa was the most penalized team in the league. Saskatchewan the least penalized.
There you see offensive coordinator Snader Snader, former CFL offensive lineman, longtime O-line coach.
Gale hangs in, goes looking for Roosevelt again. He's got it.
Great adjustment.
What a catch! And once again, Naaman Roosevelt comes up with a huge play. And once again, against Tristan Jackson.
Watch the body control along the sideline here. Jackson's got pretty good coverage. Well-thrown football to the outside. It's that delay, awareness of where the sideline is, and focus with the defender's hand right in there.
Sniffing the end zone now. High snap, way high. And Mitch Gale has to eat it. And this is going to make it a lot tougher on second and goal. Almost out near the 20-yard line, near the 18.
The second one tonight that's gotten away on Andrew Jones a little bit.
Well, they're lucky to recover it. As you can see Roosevelt there. And wonder if they'll go to him. They haven't gone to Ricky Collins since early in the ball game as well.
Ricky Collins had a couple big plays early and has gone silent since, but this is his territory.
Another bad snap, but Gale picks it up. And the best the Riders are going to do after all of that is a field goal attempt on a couple of bad snaps from Andrew Jones. And Gale is again fortunate to pick it up. So a chance, though, for Saskatchewan to reclaim the lead. Once again, it's Tyler Crapigna, former Stampeder pick. I was a hero in the Vanier Cup in 2011 for McMaster. Made 3 tonight. Make it 4. Riders on top. In the background, wonder how that'll affect tonight. Tuesday, it's the 81st Prince of Wales Stakes at Fort Erie. Coverage at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific across the TSN network. Presented by the Canadian Triple Crown Broadcast. OLG and Ontario Racing. Sir Dudley Diggs, one of the favorites in the 8-horse field on Tuesday. This is a great horse race tonight. Separated by a point. Brigsby. 2 or 3 yards. As the Saskatchewan Roughriders trying to get win number 1 for their fans and for their new head coach, who has not been christened with a Gatorade shower yet.
The Rider players are down there calling for the 13th man to turn it up. This will be a little bit of a test for Brock Jensen.
Lets it go. And unable to hang on is Ellingson. Through his mitts. 3rd down, they'll give it back to Saskatchewan again. The Riders got to think, though, and I know they have the lead right now, that they let one slip away in their last possession, so close to the goal line. But they come up and tighten the screws defensively again.
A couple of big stops there. It's setting up to come down to the wire between these two young quarterbacks.
Kendall Lawrence trying to spring free. Antoine Pruneau getting him. So Mitch Gale in his first CFL start. Last one was back in college at Abilene Christian. Guy that they talk about all the time. They talked about in Toronto about his get in early, stay late work habits. Said the desire to win is useless without the desire to prepare. And chatting with him yesterday, this is a guy who's got a good head on those shoulder pads. Prepares like he's starting every game. Hot read that time for Roosevelt.
Well, they're all about the Naaman Roosevelt show right now. Single receiver into the boundary. And that's where they were going all the way, trying to hit him on that quick slant. Roosevelt, 7 catches, 172 yards, and a touchdown.
One came, of course, on that 88-yarder, which was the longest CFL pass and run touchdown of the season. Expect them to see more of 82. Gale hangs in, and there he is again. John Boyette on the sideline saying he juggled it. They'll move that yardstick once more. 5.5 minutes to go here.
And they've done a little bit of shuffling in that Ottawa secondary. Jarrell Gavins, who's essentially played his entire career as a halfback, has now bounced out to play that boundary corner. So he's the guy frequently matching up against Roosevelt after they went after Tristan Jackson over there a little bit. Remember, Jackson's played most of his career on the field side, not the boundary.
Another miscommunication in the backfield, and Ottawa has the football. And bad snaps are killing the Roughriders right now.
See
this one right in the midst, actually, of Gale.
Off the hands.
Should have had that one. That one's on Mitch Gale.
Abilene Christian product comes up with that one.
Big turnover. Jensen now has his receivers, Williams and Jackson in motion. There was motion on the line. Looked like the Red Blacks jumped. Now we got a bit of a melee here. This place is as loud as it can be tonight.
You can just feel the intensity ramping up here.
Procedure. Ottawa, number 55, 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Fan base like no other. Brock Jensen, 17 of 26 for 245. Pair of touchdown tosses. Wings it out again. Jackson. That'll get it close to the 46-yard line. Pickup of 8.
About half of what they needed.
Here comes a huge play. 4.5 to go. Both teams now. Riders show 3. Bring 3. Jensen. First down, Jackson. Ernest Jackson.
Ernest Jackson.
Silence to Mosaic.
Just seems to be the go-to guy in these situations. Late in games, comes up in the clutch. He lines up as the number 3 receiver to the wide side here. And it's just a quick out, 2 clears in front of him. Outside releases on those 2 goes to open up Jackson.
Hit screen. Jake Hardy this time. They have been able to Tightrope the sidelines. It looks like he got 9. 3:45 to go. Riders trying to hold the Red Blacks to a field goal. First down, they say, so they'll move the sticks once more. Red Blacks down 1, and Buddy Jackson is down.
Well, this will create an interesting situation in that Saskatchewan secondary. The other corner, Justin Cox, is limping around as well, but Buddy Jackson's the guy who's been matched up with Chris Williams most of this game.
Jackson, the Pittsburgh product. Spent some time in the NFL. Grey Cup with Calgary back in 2014. Tell you what, you look at the records coming in on paper, this looked like a bit of a mismatch tonight. This has been hardly it. It's been a terrific ball game. Jake Hardy slides for the first down along those sidelines.
Well, Buddy Jackson goes out. We'll see if they isolate Chris Williams in the boundary here.
Brad Sinopoli has a pair touchdowns in the game. Chris Williams only has a catch. They go to Grigsby, kicking it outside. He's chopped down. Red Blacks eating up some turf. 10-yard pickup and eating up the clock too, getting close to that 3-minute warning.
Well, this is the game to me in which Nick Grigsby has looked most settled in with this Ottawa Red Blacks offense. Certainly becoming a bigger part of the game plan. He's helped keep some of that heat off of Brock Jensen.
So it's going to be second and short, just short of the first down. Jensen, boy, the bad exchange again, a bobbled snap, this time from Ottawa. But they'll get the first down. Likely one more, or will there be one more before the 3-minute warning? No, it's the 3-minute warning right now. Still got a lot to decide here in 3 minutes. 1-point game. And the Red Blacks are on the move. Gracie and the Cats 2-2 and 2-1 Eskies. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, TSN 1, 3, 4, and 5 tomorrow as Week 5 continues. This is a thriller here tonight in Regina. Roughriders ahead by the slimmest margin. Cluster formation this time. They give it to Grigsby. There's a penalty flag. There's a lid off as well.
Jake Hardy, the Ottawa receiver, is the guy who had his lid popped off.
Looks like this is going to go against the Roughriders. Yeah, the Red Blacks can use up a lot of time here, trying to get it to the end zone.
Illegal block, hands to the face, Saskatchewan, number 47. Half distance to goal, and it will be first down.
Roughriders have played neck and neck with the Red Blacks, the Eastern Division champions from last year.
Keep an eye on Jake Hardy on the very right edge of your screen. He's got what's intended to be a crack block on Sam McGuavin. Defender gets his hands up. The face mask pops the helmet off. And that's the flag.
Double tight end formation now for the Red Blacks. 3 receivers in motion. Williams, Ellingson, Jackson, Grigsby, backfield, takes it. Grigsby goes up the middle, and he is gobbled up right there at the 5-yard line. So it will be second down and goal. And again, the Roughriders try to stop the Red Blacks in the tracks right here and force a field goal. And it makes you wonder that those high snaps, bobbled snaps, if they will cost the Roughriders in the end. So close to the goal line. See how it all plays out here. Saskatchewan still will have time to get the ball back. 2nd and goal. Ellingson top of your screen. Williams in motion. Jensen, play action, in trouble, and down he goes. Justin Capicotti. And it will force a field goal. A chippy from a very awkward angle for Chris Milo.
Well, earlier from that formation, remember Ottawa hit the tight end, Patrick Lavoie, and he's going to take off again here. But watch Ernest Jackson coming across the formation in motion, and he's got to time it and watch out for that snap. He's got to do a quick little double step there to avoid disaster for Ottawa in close.
We've had 5 lead changes. This would be the 6th. Milo's 3 of 5.
This was a drive where Ottawa needed a touchdown and a 2-point convert.
Buries it.
The field goal isn't putting anybody's mind at ease.
So the Red Blacks now go up by 2. 1:49 and a chance for the Riders to put it in position to win it. Trying to get this guy his first win as head coach in Saskatchewan. Wins. And these games, these finishes have not been easy for Saskatchewan this season. 0-3. And again, so close to that goal line and that high snap. We'll see if that comes back to haunt them. The wind starting to pick up as well. Let's go down to Lee Jones.
Yeah, thanks, guys. In the last couple minutes, a lot of gusts coming up behind the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They may not have to get too far down here to give them a chance at a field goal. Just in the last couple minutes, as you said, there's lightning all around us. The storm is coming in. So the wind really could be a factor in the end of this game.
Well, it goes back to the coin flip, as we talk so often when we come to Regina, and that wind that today is blowing from the south. Story tonight could be the wind, and could also be gale, as in Mitch. We'll see. Lawrence fighting for some field position. Good start here for the Riders. 1:44 to go. And they march the football. Can Mitch Gale, in his first CFL start, get a W?
Well, the thing that's been talked about with Mitchell Gale is that poise. That sense that no stage is too big. You couldn't ask for much more drama, much more pressure than this with 1:44 to go and the game on the line.
Eamon Roosevelt has been his guy. He's gone to Langford quite a bit as well. Another high snap. Here's the rush, and it's thrown to the near sideline. And they are saying, as the officials huddle up, that it's a catch.
And I'll tell you what, with the game on the line, Abdul Kanay, who's been out most of this second half,
is
now back on that boundary corner to match up against Eamon Roosevelt.
And look at this, how close that is.
Great extension.
2nd down. Plunge for the first. So Tyler Crapigna's longest field goal, 47 yards on the season. He has not had an attempt over 50 yards. Again, a heavy breeze. Riders would like to march this down into very manageable territory. There he is. Quick hitter. Nobody home. Looking for Dembski. So it'll be 2nd down. And a critical one here now for the Roughriders.
Absolutely.
1:22 remains.
Realistically, 2 downs to play with here to get it.
They bring the house. Gale goes over the top. Interference call on Abdul Kanay. And the ball goes into Ottawa territory. Roosevelt
Pass interference.
limps
Ottawa,
up.
number 14. spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Very little surprise where Saskatchewan's trying to go with that football. Naaman Roosevelt has been a monster in the second half. Watch as he tries to work back to the ball.
And there's a challenge from Rick Campbell on that interference call. This will be the 4th challenge of this game. Red Blacks 1-0. Saskatchewan 1-1.
Ottawa is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference that there was none. This is reviewable and will be reviewed.
And keep in mind the Red Blacks also could not review. They did throw a challenge flag earlier, but was not reviewable, so faced a delay of game penalty. But we'll see what this will turn out like for Ottawa. Roosevelt and Kane, and Kane pleads his case. Again, Abdul Kane has not been in for many series in the second half. Looks like they may have got tangled up. Here's another look.
And your best argument here as well may be the catchability, so to speak, of this football. I mean, as Roosevelt tries to adjust to go upfield.
Kind of used his arm a little bit there.
I'm not sure Kane touched him.
Kane goes.
It looks like there's contact there.
Yeah, straight
as he's
arm.
coming back to the ball, but the ball is thrown high and over top of him.
After review, it is confirmed that there was defensive pass interference. First down, Saskatchewan.
Both teams now 1-1 on challenges. Let's go down to Lee.
Guys, Naaman Roosevelt had a cramping problem, so maybe it was good news that the Ottawa Red Blacks, if you're a Saskatchewan Roughrider fan, challenged that play. It allowed them to work it out. He's back out there.
Look for him as well. Gale looking for Langford. Trying to stretch out, layout for that. Second down.
And a great call on the change up there, this time in the combination on that boundary side. They keep Roosevelt on the short route and send Langford deep. Essentially swapping roles, and in the process caught the defense flat-footed.
Second down, a field goal from here would be from the 52. Mitch Gale's mom and dad watching. Here they come again, the blitz, and an incomplete pass. So now it's third down. This will come from the 52-yard line. And again, Tyler Krapina has not had an attempt over 50 yards this season. However, he does have a big wind at his back.
Now, part of your challenge with the longer kick, and we saw this a little bit with Chris Milo at the end of the first half, is a lower trajectory,
Yes.
that greater risk of that kick being blocked.
Well, he has been a big game kicker. Back to his college days. This is actually from the 53. Krapina's kick is up. It's up. It's good. Tyler Krapina nails it with 1:03 to go.
Well, he didn't have much to spare, but he had just enough on this one. Dropped maybe a yard or two beyond that goalpost.
Well, he was a hero at Mac. And Mitch Gale, he knows though there's still time left. And by the way, the Ottawa Red Blacks have a guy in their uniform who would love to come here and spoil the party. His name is Chris Milo. What a game this has been. And under 3 minutes to go. It's not spotted at the 35. You have to kick it off.
I think everyone in this stadium is on their feet right now.
1 point lead, Saskatchewan. Another former Rider, Tristan Jackson. Oh, it's belted. My, oh my. Jeff Knox sends Tristan Jackson into orbit. But here we go. And the biggest factor right now, the crowd. Deafening. Jensen is going down.
Well, that pressure that Saskatchewan has struggled to generate on a consistent basis comes through in a big way here.
Timeout. Ottawa.
Ottawa uses its timeout. REDBLACKS on the verge of their first loss. Riderville on the verge of its first win. Still time though. Second down, 15. Here comes the heat again. There goes the ball. And no flag. Battle downfield as they were looking for Chris Williams. It's going to come down to third down.
Take a look here at Buddy Jackson at the end of this play.
Here it is. Third down and 15. They've got to get to the 49. Three-man rush. Jensen now. Down he goes. And down go the REDBLACKS.
Justin Capricotti, the former REDBLACK, with his first sack of the season, closes it out.
Well, it's been quite some time since they've been able to celebrate like this in Regina. They are on the cusp now of getting that man his first win as the Riders head coach. Rick Campbell, REDBLACKS. They're going to suffer their first defeat, 2016. They'll head home and face Toronto next week. Saskatchewan's heading to Montreal. Barring some miracle or something unforeseen, Mitch Gale is going to pick up his first win as a CFL quarterback. And he had a remarkable night.
Well, from start to finish, an impressive outing for Gale. Had to lead this team in a last-minute winning drive to get it done.
Guess what, Coach? You better duck. Exhale, Saskatchewan. You've got your first win of 2016. What a hard-fought win it was. Chris Jones has win number 1. 6 lead changes. And the turning point was thanks to this guy, the Nissan Titan player of the game, Naaman Roosevelt.
An absolute monster, especially in the second half of this game when the Saskatchewan Roughriders needed him. Came up with 8 catches, 182 yards, including this 88-yard catch and run. The turning point in this ball game, Naaman Roosevelt, very deserving Nissan Titan player of the game.
Mitch Gale, boy, his parents must be proud. Long way to come from Alva, Oklahoma. They're going home happy. Their boy got a win in his first start. And coach, it had to happen. He got his shower, finally. The Riders are happy. Riderville is happy. They got their first win. Red Blacks take their first loss. Nail biter here. Tyler Krapina, money from 53 yards out. The game-winning field goal. 30-29 the final. Friday Night Football. What a game. SportsCenter coming your way now.